Hi, I'm Michael, and welcome to the two-part unboxing video for Dungeon Heroes by Gamelyn Games. In this video, I will be unwrapping the base game, still in its factory-sealed shrink wrap, as well as the expansion pack that includes Lords of the Undead and the Dragon and the Damsel. I'm going to go ahead and set the expansion pack aside for now, and we'll get to that one a little bit later in the video. Dungeon Heroes, the first publication by Gamelyn Games. Alright, let's see what we got here. Alright, first thing you'll notice when taking off that shrink wrap is a real nice heavy linen finish to the entire box. Also, you'll notice right away that the box is very sturdy and incredibly thick. Prior to founding Gamelyn Games, I was a co-founder and publisher with Crash Games, so if you're familiar with titles Rise and the Lost Dutchman, you'll see a lot of similarities made in the production quality and decisions pertaining to the components in the box. That's something that both Patrick and I are very committed to. Alright, so let's take a look at the sides here in the front of the cover. So here you'll see a slew of heroes going through a dungeon, encountering a couple of monsters, and just a pretty awesome action scene. On the sides, you're going to get the game as well as a couple of, you got the warrior on one side, the ogre on the other. Flip it around, it's going to feature the orc and the wizard, the skeleton, the cleric, the goblin, and the rogue. So you're getting all the monsters and all the heroes on the sides of the box there. There's the back of the box. Alright, let's take a look at what's inside. So first thing you're going to come into here is the rule books. Now the Dungeon Heroes rule sheet is one sheet front and back. It's actually a very simple game to learn how to play and to get going, but very difficult to master, and a lot of fun drama that comes out through the gameplay. Also, Dungeon Heroes features a solo play, so that's going to be here on a separate rule sheet, small and simple to understand. Alright, what to get to next? I think the thing I am most excited to share with you are these amazing laser cut wood meeples of all the monsters and the heroes in the game. So I'm going to show you up close here the great level of detail that is taken in cutting these meeples. So that's the orc I showed you. Here we have one of the heroes, the warrior. The wizard is one of the other heroes. The rogue, a little halfling. You can see a little money purse in his hand. And the cleric is the last of the four heroes. And she's the one featured right behind her on the box, actually. Of the monsters, I showed you the orc. Here's the ogre. He's the largest monster in the game. The skeleton, one of my personal favorites here. And again, these are nice and sturdy and hard. And the goblin. So those are all the meeples. You actually get 8 unique meeples, and a total of 14. I'm going to go ahead and set these aside, and let's take a look at what else is in this box. Alright, this is the game board. Quad fold, nice and thick. Features the same heavy linen finish that's on the box. Just super nice quality. This thing's going to last hundreds and hundreds of gameplays. Alright, next we've got some dice. Blue D4, black D6, a white D8, and a red D10. Now these dice, each one corresponds with the light colored hero, and essentially they just act as the hit point counter for that hero. So you're going to actually place these on the player board and track what the current hit points are of your heroes during gameplay. Got some nice Ziploc baggies, real nice and heavy to put all your components in to keep those nice and safe. Alright, and lastly, we've got 4 punch boards. The punch boards will feature a player board at the top, and then all the dungeon tiles that the Dungeon Lord is going to use to create the dungeon and present the puzzles to the hero player. This is also a very nice heavy linen finish, the same featured on the box and the game board. That's the back side of the tile. So when these are all placed down on the dungeon, you can see that it just looks like the floor or looks like dungeon wall that's covered in, but the players' heroes are going to come across these and have to encounter the different tiles and what they do. So you'll see here I've got some treasures up top. I have a holy symbol, that's an item that the heroes can acquire, as well as the sword. A couple of portals that move you around the dungeon and taking you back to the start, as well as some shifting floors that have some very interesting results depending on how they're used. So on the second board here you see the cleric and her player board. Then you see a whole slew of traps that are at the dungeon lord's disposal. You've got some bear traps, some javelin traps, fire, a pit, a couple of the ultra deadly poisonous clouds. You've got to be watching out for those. So it's the same on both sides here. The cleric is just a repeat of the player board on that back side, and then you've got the regular back of the dungeon tile. Alright. Next up we've got the rogue's player board, followed by a bunch of the monsters. So I'll bring that up close so you can see the beautiful art by Bill Bricker. You've got the goblins, skeletons, orc, and the ogre. And again, you can see these meeples were designed to match the art of these monsters. So it's really exciting to see the theme and the art come in through the gameplay. You've got a couple of additional items down here, including a lockpick and a wizard hat. Alright. The last player board here is the wizards. Then you're going to see a couple of other items, including the Holy Grail. A couple of additional items that you've seen. Alright. So that's what you get in the Dungeon Heroes very exciting game box. Alright, let me put all this back, and I will bust out the expansion pack and show you how exciting that is. Alright. Okay, Dragon and the Damsel, Lords of the Undead. This is a two-part expansion pack. Still in the factory sealed shrink wrap. Alright. Ah, beautiful. Alright, so you get 4 additional wood meeples. The dragon and the damsel, both based off of Bill Bricker's amazing art. You'll see that the damsel got that nice thin leg and the thin arm because the laser cutting and the detail is so precise, but yet I'm applying a lot of pressure right now. It's hard to see in the video, but I'm actually applying a lot of pressure and there's no budge at all. Very nice high quality wood meeples. And then with the Lords of the Undead, you're getting the White Lady. It's a ghost that roams around the dungeon, as well as a necromancer that features some nasty abilities like bringing monsters back from the dead. So watch out for these guys. Alright. Got some loose items in here. As well as another D4. It's a pink D4. Goes with the Damsel's player board. The Damsel is a 5th hero that joins the hero party, but you have to find her in the dungeon before she joins the party. Again, these are the same heavy linen quality of the box and the punch board from the base game. Alright, so get a whole bunch of extra tiles. The rules, very simple expansions that add a lot of dynamic excitement to the game. So on the front side here you see the dragon and the damsel, and on the back side, Lords of the Undead. The expansion pack also features a very, very nice, high quality, like a crushed velvet bag. This is great for the base game, actually. It works as a fantastic draw bag to pull the game tiles for the Dungeon Lord in the base game instead of using a draw pile. So definitely something you want to look into in picking up the expansion pack. If not for the bag, definitely for these amazing meeples. And if nothing else, the gameplay is very exciting and adds a lot of new elements to the game. So set that aside. Alright, so let's separate these out here for the particular expansions that they belong to. You'll be able to use the rules to decipher that. Alright, so you've got the dragon, which is another monster added to the arsenal of the Dungeon Lord. Gets thrown into the base game. Here's the damsel. I was telling you a little bit about her. You have to rescue her from the dungeon, so she's going to be added to the Dungeon Lord's draw bag. Whoops, sorry about that. Alright. Then you got a couple of other fun little things that come into the dungeon, including an item that represents the damsel's special ability, and a fairy. Fairy's ability is to restore a hero's health back to full. Now, it's not an item. The hero can't take the fairy with them, but if they land on the tile, they're restored to full health. That's the dragon and the damsel expansion. Again, so this comes with player board, the 4 tiles, the dice, the dragon, and the damsel. Now, the Lords of the Undead expansion includes the Necromancer and his awesome meeple, the White Lady, a spirit roaming the dungeon, as well as a market that's introduced for the hero player. So what's neat about the market is when you'll notice that there's a point value on the monsters and the traps in the game. Those point values, once defeated in the game, are going to become a currency that the hero can use to make purchases in the underground dungeon market. So here you see a mysterious bread, a potion, a mirror, and a skull. Now, each of these feature a really fun twist that allows the hero party to have a few tricks of his own. Alright, so there you are. I hope you enjoyed the unboxing video, and thank you very much for watching, and we will see you again soon.